Alright people, gather round because we're about to talk about something that sounds boring but could actually change the world: de-dollarization. Now I know what you're thinking. De-dollarization? That sounds like something only economists should care about. But trust me, this is something that could impact everyone, from the average Joe to big corporations. Don't worry, I'll keep it simple. Imagine the US dollar as the superstar of the global financial world. For decades, it's been the go-to currency for international trade, oil deals, and even as a reserve currency for many countries. Basically, de-dollarization is like the world's slow breakup with the US dollar. It's a process where countries reduce their reliance on the dollar for international transactions and reserves. For decades, the dollar has been the king of currencies, used for everything from international trade to oil deals. It's been the default choice because of its stability and the strength of the US economy. It's like the Beyoncé of money. Everyone wants to be associated with it because it's reliable and widely accepted. But lately, some countries are getting tired of the dollar's dominance and are looking for alternatives. They're exploring other currencies like the euro, the Chinese yuan, and even cryptocurrencies. They're like, Beyoncé is great and all, but maybe it's time for a new sound, you know? This shift is driven by various factors, including political tensions, economic sanctions, and the desire for more financial independence. So they're starting to use other currencies for trade, ditching the dollar in their reserves, and even creating their own fancy payment systems. For example, China has been promoting the use of the yuan in international trade and has developed its own digital currency. It's a big deal, folks. De-dollarization could reshape the global financial landscape, affecting everything from exchange rates to international investments. Think of it like this. Imagine if suddenly everyone stopped using iPhones. The impact on Apple would be enormous, right? The same goes for the US dollar. Apple wouldn't be too happy, right? Similarly, the US wouldn't be thrilled if the dollar lost its status as the world's primary currency. That's kind of what's happening with the US dollar. If more countries move away from the dollar, it could lead to a decline in its value and influence. And believe me, the US is not thrilled about it. The government and financial institutions are closely monitoring these developments, as they could have significant implications for the US economy and its position in the world. To understand why the dollar became so dominant, we need to go back to the end of World War II. The Bretton Woods Agreement established the US dollar as the world's primary reserve currency, backed by gold. This system created a stable global financial environment, but it also cemented the dollar's dominance. Even after the gold standard was abandoned in the 1970s, the dollar remained the preferred currency for international trade and finance. Its stability and the strength of the US economy made it a safe bet for countries around the world. But times are changing. With the rise of emerging economies and advancements in technology, the global financial system is becoming more diversified. Countries are seeking to reduce their dependence on the dollar to mitigate risks and gain more control over their economic policies. Digital currencies and blockchain technology are also playing a role in this shift. They offer new ways to conduct transactions and store value, challenging the traditional dominance of the dollar. So, what does the future hold? It's hard to say for sure, but one thing is clear. The era of unquestioned dollar dominance may be coming to an end. As countries continue to explore alternatives, the global financial landscape will likely become more multipolar, with multiple currencies sharing the stage. In the end, de-dollarization is not just about money, it's about power, influence, and the future of the global economy. So, keep an eye on this trend, because it could shape the world in ways we can't even imagine yet. So, why are countries ditching the dollar? It's a question that has been gaining traction in recent years, and the answer is multifaceted. Well, one big reason is geopolitics, which is a fancy way of saying countries playing power games with each other. Geopolitics involves the strategic maneuvers nations make to gain an upper hand, whether it's through alliances, economic policies, or military actions. You see, when you control the world's reserve currency, like the US does with the dollar, you have a lot of power. This power isn't just about having a strong economy, it's about having the ability to influence global financial systems. You can impose sanctions, freeze assets, and basically make life difficult for countries you don't like. These financial tools are incredibly potent and can cripple economies without a single shot being fired. And let's be honest, the US hasn't exactly been shy about using that power. Over the years, the US has imposed sanctions on numerous countries, often citing reasons like human rights abuses, nuclear proliferation, or terrorism. Just ask Iran, North Korea, or even Russia recently. These countries have faced severe economic hardships due to US-imposed sanctions, leading them to seek alternatives to the dollar. So it's no surprise that some countries are looking for ways to reduce their dependence on the dollar and avoid getting caught in the crossfire of these political spats. By diversifying their reserves and engaging in trade using alternative currencies, they aim to shield themselves from the economic fallout of US policies. They're basically saying, "We don't want to be collateral damage in your little games, America." This sentiment is growing, and it's leading to a gradual but noticeable shift in the global financial landscape. Countries are forming new alliances and trade agreements that exclude the dollar, signaling a move towards a more multipolar world economy. Additionally, the rise of digital currencies and blockchain technology is providing new avenues for countries to bypass traditional financial systems dominated by the dollar. These technologies offer a level of transparency and security that is appealing to nations looking to assert their financial independence. The conversation around the dollar's decline is not just about economics, it's about sovereignty and control. As the world becomes more interconnected, the actions of one country can have far-reaching impacts on others. This interconnectedness is prompting nations to rethink their reliance on any single currency, especially one that can be weaponized for political purposes. In conclusion, the decline of the dollar's dominance is a complex issue driven by geopolitical strategies, economic policies, and technological advancements. As countries continue to seek greater autonomy and resilience, the global financial system is likely to see significant changes in the coming years. The era of the dollar's unchallenged supremacy may be coming to an end, making way for a more diversified and balanced global economy. But it's not just about politics, people. The shift away from the dollar is also driven by a complex web of economic factors that are becoming increasingly hard to ignore. There are also some serious economic reasons why countries are rethinking their love affair with the dollar. For one, the global financial landscape is evolving, and nations are seeking more stability and control over their economic futures. For starters, holding a lot of your reserves in dollars means you're vulnerable to fluctuations in the US economy. This dependency can be risky, especially when the US faces economic downturns or financial crises. If the dollar goes down, so does the value of your savings. This can have a ripple effect, impacting everything from national budgets to social programs. It's like putting all your eggs in one basket and then watching someone drop the basket. The financial instability that comes with such a scenario can be devastating for any country. Plus, relying heavily on the dollar can limit a country's ability to control its own monetary policy. When a nation is too dependent on the dollar, it often finds itself at the mercy of US economic policies and decisions. It's like trying to drive a car with someone else controlling the steering wheel. Not ideal, right? This lack of control can hinder a country's ability to respond effectively to its own economic challenges. So some countries are realizing that diversifying their reserves and using other currencies for trade might actually be a smart economic move. By doing so, they can reduce their exposure to the risks associated with the dollar and gain more financial independence. It's about spreading the risk, gaining more control, and maybe even saving some money in the process. Diversification allows countries to better manage their economic policies and protect themselves from external shocks. Moreover, as global trade becomes more interconnected, the use of multiple currencies can facilitate smoother and more efficient transactions. This can lead to stronger economic partnerships and more robust international trade networks. In the long run, the move towards de-dollarization could also pave the way for the adoption of new financial technologies and digital currencies. These innovations have the potential to revolutionize the global financial system, making it more inclusive and resilient. As countries explore these new avenues, they are not just looking to reduce their reliance on the dollar, but also to position themselves at the forefront of the next wave of financial innovation. Ultimately, the economic factors fueling de-dollarization are multifaceted and complex. They reflect a broader desire for economic sovereignty, stability, and innovation in an ever-changing global landscape. Section 4, BRICS, Building a New Financial World Order. Now let's talk about the BRICS countries, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. They're like the cool kids table in the global cafeteria, and they're leading the charge in this whole de-dollarization movement. These emerging economies are tired of the US calling all the shots and are eager to flex their own economic muscles. They're like, we're not just going to sit here and take it anymore. So they've been busy signing currency swap agreements, using their own currencies for bilateral trade, and creating their own development banks. It's like they're building their own financial playground and they're inviting everyone else to join. And let me tell you, the US is not happy about being left out of the fun. In fact, Trump has even warned BRICS about the consequences of their actions, signaling that the US might take steps to counter their moves. Section 5. A BRICS currency pipe dream or dollar's doom. But here's the million-dollar question. Will the BRICS countries actually create their own common currency? Now that would be a game changer, folks. Imagine a world where instead of using dollars or euros, we're all trading in like BRICS bucks or something. It sounds crazy, right? Well, some experts say it's not as far-fetched as it sounds. After all, the euro was once just a crazy idea too, and look at it now. If the BRICS countries can pull it off, it could significantly weaken the dollar's dominance and reshape the global financial landscape. It would be like the financial equivalent of a peaceful revolution. Stay tuned, folks, because this is one story that's just getting started. Please subscribe to this video for more updates.